Welcome to The Edge of the Unknown, Stories of Growth and Grit, a podcast about resilience, transformation, and rediscovering yourself after life's most challenging moments. I'm Lisa, and I have walked the path of heartbreak, betrayal, and reinvention, and I am living every day as an adventure. Here, we embrace the messiness of growth, uncover the strength within, and learn to rewrite the stories we tell ourselves. Each episode will feature stories that will help you feel seen, find clarity, and reconnect with who you are. Let's get going. Hi, friends. I hope this episode finds you happy and healthy. Today, I'm going to talk about something that I believe every woman should do. Take a romantic getaway for one. Single, married, it's complicated. We should all do something like this. A love affair with ourselves. That's what I want to explore with you today. But first, let's get grounded. So I invite you to sit up a little straighter and, if possible, put your feet on the ground. Feel a connection flow from your body all the way to the center of the earth. Feel the grounding energy come up through the earth into your body. Can you feel the connection? Now I invite you to start breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, and focus for a few seconds on your body. Is there a place in your body that is contracted or uncomfortable? Breathe in that grounding energy into that space and breathe out the tightness and the discomfort. A few more breaths. And now I invite you to take one more extra deep breath in, and this time breathe in gratitude. Hold it for a moment at the top, and when you exhale, keep the gratitude with you. So, as I like to do at the top of every episode, I'm going to share 3 things that I'm grateful for today. And as I do so, I invite you to think about what you're grateful for today. So first, the weather here in Colorado has been super nice. No more 100-degree days, and the fall is here. I don't even mind when it rains. And second, my oldest son, he turns 22 tomorrow, and he's doing really well, and I am so proud of him. He has a good job, a great roommate, good friends, and he is a functioning adult, and I'm just really happy for him. And third, my dog. My guy, Rio, is a sweet old guy. I wish he didn't shed quite so much, but I just love him to pieces. So let's go and discuss a romantic getaway for one. So I was married for 21 years. Ironically, it was a great marriage. We traveled together well, but we were independent enough to have our own little getaways. He would do guys' trips to Vegas, and he even went to Costa Rica once, and he was supportive of my trips with my friends, etc. But during all that time, I never traveled all alone. My travels were for work or family or with friends. I often would be the trip planner, so I didn't always get to do exactly what I wanted because I wanted to make sure everyone that I was traveling with would be happy. My trip to Peru was pretty darn close to a perfect trip for me, but much of the time I was worried that my friends were enjoying themselves. Let's fast forward to March of 2023. I was deep into my healing phase, and I was still very broken and feeling sorry for myself. The night that my husband's baby was born, I was drinking wine and scrolling on my phone, as we so often do when we are down in the dumps. I received a notification from Southwest Airlines that they were having a sale and it ended at midnight. I decided that traveling somewhere was going to be the key to getting me out of the dumps. But I started thinking, who could I talk into going somewhere with me? What friends or family could I go visit? Where did I want to go? So I started looking at the airports on the list for the sale for Southwest Airlines. San Diego? Nope. Portland? Nope, but there. Hmm. LaGuardia. And with a glass of wine in one hand and my phone in the other, I was able to book a quick trip leaving on a Tuesday morning early and returning late on a Thursday. Almost 3 days. And it was only $150. He had a new baby. Well, I was going to go to the Big Apple. Things then started falling into place. My friend has a cousin who lives blocks from Times Square in Manhattan, and she offered up her couch, score on free accommodations. I should mention that I had never been to New York City. I had been to DC for work and Boston for the marathon, but this was the first time I was going to be in a big city all by myself. I was doing this on a budget because I had recently lost my job. So cabs and Ubers were out of the question. I had to navigate public transportation. I grew up in Portland, Oregon, and the only public transportation that I used on a consistent basis was MAX, which is the light rail system in Portland, which at the time that I lived there had one line and it basically went east and west. Um, Fort Collins also has a MAX. It's a bus and it just goes north south. So there's not a lot of navigating to do on public transportation in the cities that I've lived the longest. Navigating from LaGuardia to Manhattan is relatively simple, but extremely intimidating. But I did it. Luckily, Google Maps does a great job of helping you navigate public transportation to get you where you need to go. Once in New York City, the hardest thing for me was knowing which way was north, south, east, and west. When I'm here in Colorado, I can always find the mountains and that'll tell me which way is west. So I had a little bit more trouble in New York. I only got on the subway going the wrong direction once. I call that a win. So I had 55 hours in New York City and I tried to make the most of every single minute. I did basically a highlight tour of New York. The only thing I really didn't do that I would have liked to do is go to the top of the Empire State Building. When figuring out if I had time to do everything, that one was down on the bottom of the list, and so it got bumped. I figured that when I come back another time, I'll either be with my kids or a partner, and there would be time to go to the top of the Empire State Building. But I was able to do all the romantic things that I had seen in movies and read in books, and I did them all by myself. And it turns out that I like hanging out with myself. So, some of the things I did, I saw not one, but two Broadway shows. Seeing a show solo wasn't nearly as tough as I thought it would be. It was actually really fun. I had a vodka martini at a Russian bar and a fun rum cocktail at a rum bar. I ate lunch at Chelsea Market. I walked the High Line from Chelsea Market basically until it ended. I walked across the Brooklyn Bridge, which I always thought was such a romantic thing to do. And it was great. It was a gray, kind of misty day, and I just loved every second of it. I had dim sum in Chinatown, and it was funny because I just kind of randomly picked a place. And in the dim sum restaurant, I was the youngest person by decades, and I'm in my 50s, and the only person who spoke English. This place was full of 70 something year old Chinese ladies. So I knew that the food was going to be good. I walked around Central Park and even bought myself an overpriced cocktail at Tavern on the Green. And I had a hot dog at the park. I went to One World Trade to visit the 9/11 Memorial, which was super powerful. It was actually more emotional than I thought it would be, and it was beautiful. They did a really nice job of honoring the 9/11 victims. This trip was my first solo travel experience, and it was incredible. Yes, I was alone, but I never felt lonely. This past May, On my way to walk the Camino, I had a similar experience in Paris. So I did a lot of little things. I was only there for 2 days. So I took a bike tour of the highlights of the city. I went and admired paintings by Monet and Van Gogh and saw sculptures by Rodin. I took a cruise on the Seine. I took selfies in front of the Eiffel Tower. I ate French onion soup on a rainy evening. And actually, my son pointed out that it's probably just called onion soup there. But I did all the things while I was in Paris and walked and walked and walked. And then in July in Porto, Portugal, I went and listened to fado music all by myself, took a wine tour and a river cruise on the Douro River. Just thinking and talking about these solo travels makes me want to go explore a new city. Honestly, every woman should take a weekend in an exciting city. Even if a flight to another city isn't in your budget, take yourself out on a date, see a show, buy yourself a fancy cocktail, even buy yourself flowers. So, what romantic thing have you done all by yourself? Are you wondering where even to start? Reach out to me. I can help you brainstorm, plan. I am a travel agent after all, and even give you that metaphorical kick in the butt that you might need to just go do it. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you have a wonderful day full of romance and adventure. Thank you so much for listening to The Edge of the Unknown. If this episode resonated with you, please take a moment to rate and review the podcast. It will help more people find my stories. If you know someone who needs to hear it, please share it with them. And if you have a story of resilience, transformation, or reinvention that you would like to share, I would love to hear from you. Whether you are navigating a major life transition or just want to talk about what's next, I am here to support you. Until next time, remember, you are stronger than you think, and your next chapter is waiting.